Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Handel, and I'm excited to present my research project on enhancing play and comparing video and in-person modeling to increase spontaneous verbalizations in children with autism. So we'll jump right into the rationale behind my intervention. Children with autism often experience challenges with spontaneous and contextual appropriate verbal communication, which can hinder their ability to interact with others, including peers and caregivers. Play provides the natural and engaging context for learning and practicing communication skills. By increasing these verbalizations during play, children with autism can improve their ability to express themselves, engage in social interactions, and develop relationships with others. Enhancing these skills through interventions such as video modeling and in-person modeling can lead to more meaningful and improved social lives and an overall quality of life. Next, we'll go into the participant and the setting of my intervention. My participant is a 4-year-old boy named Eli. He was diagnosed with autism, and my study took place in his home. And we used toys that were already in his environment and that he already naturally plays with. Due to Eli's limited verbalizations during play, that was one of the reasons for the intervention. Next, we'll go to the literature review. So when looking at the research behind different models of play, I did find a few different research studies. One of them by Jung and Satino have shown both video and in-person modeling can be effective to teach new skills to children with autism. By my research builds on these findings by investigating which one of these two approaches is more effective for my participant. Next, we'll go into the methodology behind my intervention. In this study, I used a single subject alternating treatment design to assess the effectiveness of my two interventions. My two independent variables were video modeling and in-person modeling techniques, which then with my independent variable being the frequency of spontaneous contextual appropriate verbalization that Eli produced during the play sessions. Data collection was used during my intervention. This was tracked on paper data through frequency count of each time Eli produced a 2 or more word phrase that was textually appropriate with the toy being played with. The definition in this intervention for contextually appropriate verbalizations is a phrase that is appropriate for that toy being used. An example of this would be using a toy car and saying vroom vroom. A non-example would be playing with a car and saying, I like SpongeBob. The interventions were carried out over several weeks during the afternoons, during the weekdays to stay consistent, to control any bias that might have become in order of the interventions. I did randomize the sequence of interventions throughout each day. When we look at the video modeling, this looked like Eli watching a 2-minute video of an adult modeling play with the different toys that he had available to him. The model in the video used contextual appropriate verbalizations. Again, an example, making the car drive, saying vroom vroom, or saying beep beep when driving the car. Following the video, Eli was given the same toys to play with, and we observed and recorded his verbalizations during a 5-minute play session. In the in-person modeling sessions, the same toys were used, but instead of watching a video, Eli observed an adult playing with the toys in real time. The adult demonstrated how to engage with the toy as well as the verbalizations relevant, including actions and sounds. After observing, Eli had a chance to play with the toys, and his verbalizations were again recorded during the 5-minute play period. When we look at the results, we see a really pretty graph in the upper corner. The graph tracks the frequency of Eli's spontaneous verbalizations across 3 phrases. We have the baseline, intervention, as well as the follow-up. Each data point represents the number of times Eli produced 2 or more word phrases during a 5-minute play session. When we look at the baseline phase, the graph shows the consistently low levels of spontaneous verbalizations. We see that Eli rarely engaged in contextual appropriate verbalizations without an intervention in place. We saw at most 3 during a 5-minute play period. This phase highlighted the need for this intervention in order to increase that communication during play. When we look at the intervention phase, we are looking at video modeling and in-person modeling. A noticeable shift occurs in this part of the graph. For both types of the modeling, we can see an upward trend in the frequency of Eli's verbalizations. The data points for video modeling sessions were marked separately than the in-person modeling sessions, allowing us to compare the effectiveness of each intervention. As we can see, the video modeling is particularly effective in encouraging Eli to use more spontaneous, contextual appropriate verbalizations while playing with toys. Next, we'll look at the follow-up phase. After the intervention phase, we followed up and we assessed whether the improvements were sustained. The graph indicates that Eli continued to use spontaneous verbalization even with a 3-day period between the last intervention going into the follow-up. The follow-up data points were clustered above the baseline data to show the difference. Overall, the graph clearly demonstrates that both video modeling and in-person modeling were both effective, but video modeling was more effective for my client Eli. We'll jump into the discussion portion of my poster. To summarize, the findings of my study suggest that video modeling in particular led to a significant increase in spontaneous verbalizations during play for Eli. The benefits of this approach continue even after the intervention was completed, indicating its potential for long-lasting impact. However, we must note that there were some limitations during this study. One of the limitations was the generability to children with autism, as well as different age groups. And we also see that during a relatively short duration, the intervention could have been longer. So we could see that differ, making that that affecting the research as well. In conclusion, the study supports the use of video modeling as an effective tool to enhance verbal communication in children with autism during play. I want to thank you guys for watching my video, and I wish you all good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you.